I didn't know quite what to expect going there. I was hopeful that we'd get some justice, but I didn't know what to expect.
I expected it to be very formal, very legalistic. I thought it would be difficult for me to get my ideas across about what I want to say about my child.
I suppose the things that I dreaded most was that the other agencies would have a stronger case than I did.
I thought that the local authority would have more time to speak, that they would be more professional in their approach than I could have been.
We'd been a bit frightened about standing up against the local authority, but in that hearing I felt put on a level footing with them.
Those of us that go to tribunal representing the local authority are well experienced in matters of special needs. We go to tribunal with a view about what we feel is probably the most appropriate and adequate education that we can be making for a young person.
You have obviously the local authority there expressing a very different view to yourself, and emotions can potentially run high.
I held up quite well on the day. After I'd finished the whole thing and we left the room, then I got really emotional because that was the end of the whole case and I could kind of relax and let go a bit.
They do try and make it as informal as possible, but obviously at the end of the day one has to be minded that you are working within legislation. You can't go outside of that.
What I felt was the tribunal panel were very good at putting us back at ease and making us feel comfortable that we were getting a fair hearing.
I didn't get upset on the day because the actual tribunal was to decide for my grandson, and my daughter, I had her with me, so I couldn't get upset. I was too busy fighting my corner.
I hoped I was going to get a fair hearing because it had been frustrating trying to get the local authority to listen.
Certainly you need to continue to have a dialogue with parents. That's paramount. It's essential to try and continue that dialogue, even if parents are not willing to do that. Often we get into a situation where parents won't speak directly to us, which may well be able to resolve the problems before getting to a hearing. We would all like to try and resolve issues at a more local level if we can, and hopefully then come to an agreed way forward rather than having to use this formal process.
I would very much advise other parents to consider going to tribunal if they feel that they're not getting anywhere with the process of creating a statement.
There's so much to gain in going to tribunal that even if you are not a strong public speaker or you are not terribly au fait with all the procedures, I think you should still go for it, but you should try and go with a realistic attitude to make sure that you know your case inside out, that you're not afraid of speaking out and saying exactly what you want to say on the day, because you won't have another opportunity of doing that.
You have to speak up, you have to make yourself heard, because it's important, it's very important.
It's worth the heartache and the paperwork and the effort, because you do get the feeling that you get fair play and justice.
It's something that if you feel it needs to be done, then you have to do it.